Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. I am Tom Patterson, now the chairman of the Compact for America. I've been asked to provide some brief remarks about the history of efforts to call a convention of the states, to have a balanced budget amendment proposed to the Constitution. I'm not a historian, but I was there in the 90s, and we had at that time, some of you may realize this because you were there too, some of you may not know, that there was a very intense, extensive, well-intentioned effort to call a convention of the states. The concerns were very much those that we have today. The main difference was that we're much closer to the cliff now. We don't have as much time as we did back in the 90s, but a lot of smart people put a lot of time and energy and effort into this, and we failed. We actually failed pretty miserably. Some would tell you that we came close to getting enough states, but in fact we were facing rescissions by the end of the process. There was always a question of how well the different state calls would aggregate and could be considered one single call for purposes of forcing Congress to call a convention. And the point is that we failed not because the left beat us. It wasn't the people who really don't want a balanced budget amendment, who want the spending culture to continue. That was not the problem. The problem was friendly fire. The problem was people who should be on our side, but who had serious concerns about how the process would unwind. They specifically were concerned about the prospects of a runaway convention. They were concerned about how delegates could be controlled. All the questions that were out there about how votes would be apportioned, how leadership would be chosen. All of those things could not be answered. Now, I will tell you, our side felt like we were able to supply adequate answers. We put out papers of answers and answers and answers, but it didn't work. People weren't buying it, and we ended up failing. And that's where the Compact for America comes in. Under the Compact, when a state joins the Compact, they know right then what the amendment is, what the process is, what the convention is going to be. All those questions are answered. All the doubts are taken off the table, and we can proceed together to get this done. Now, before I close, as Frank said, if there's one thing that you take from my speech, what I want to leave you with is this. You know, the founders had a lot of faith and confidence in the states and believed that they would be a very important part of the federal union, and they knew that the federal government, people being what they are, would need to be constrained by the states. And I will tell you, my fellow state legislators, I think today they'd be pretty disappointed in the job that we've done. We have not taken the constitutional tools that they gave us and exerted the power and authority in the federal system that we should have. And now we're in bad shape. We have, figuratively, we're laying on the ground with four paws in the air while they do whatever they want about air control, about health care, about road building. This is a chance for the states to get back on the field to once again fulfill the constitutional role that our forefathers intended for us. Thanks very much.